If you want to add a low commitment feature wall to your room, peel and stick wallpaper is the way to go. Let me show you how to install it. Hey there, it's Christina from the DIYmommy.com. I want to add some interest to the living room at our tiny lake house, so I'm going to install some gorgeous peel and stick wallpaper. Come watch the transformation and see how I do it. I'm going to show you how to choose, measure, prepare, and install your wallpaper, as well as how to cut around fixtures and outlets to ensure a seamless finish. First things first, let's talk about choosing your wallpaper. Whether you're looking for a bold geometric pattern or a beautiful floral print, there's a peel and stick wallpaper out there for you. I recommend browsing online marketplaces like Amazon, Home Depot, or Wayfair for tons of affordable options. I found this gorgeous Rifle Paper Co., one of my favorite designers, their peel and stick wallpaper on Wayfair, and I will definitely link that in the description box below. I wanted something with a cottage feel that tied in the dark green, copper, and mint tones in our cabin, and I thought this one was so perfect. Before you order your wallpaper, it is so important to measure your wall correctly, measure both the height and the width of your wall, and be sure to add a couple of extra inches to both of those measurements to allow for cutting and trimming. And I'd recommend adding even more if you have to match a large pattern. Once you have your measurements, you can order your wallpaper, and Wayfair actually has a calculator right on their site to show you how many rolls to order. Now that your wallpaper has arrived, it's time to prepare your wall. So I suggest starting by cleaning your wall with a damp cloth or a sponge. Make sure it has no dirt, no debris, no dust. Make sure it's completely dry before starting to apply your wallpaper. My wall here in our tiny lake house living room was actually recently painted, so it's free from any dust or debris. Now you can choose to remove any crown molding or baseboard and apply the wallpaper underneath that, and then reinstall your crown molding and baseboard. But I want my wallpaper here to be easily removed if I change my mind later, so I'm going to install it without removing any trim, so I can just take it off and put another paper back on if I choose. Using scissors or a utility knife, cut your wallpaper into strips according to your wall measurements. Leave a few extra inches at the top or the bottom. You want to make sure you have a little bit of extra to play with. You can also do like I'm doing here and work right off the roll, leave some excess at the top and a generous cut at the bottom, and then we'll be trimming the excess off in the final step. When applying your wallpaper, it's so important to start with a level and a square first strip to ensure that the entire pattern is going to be straight. Do not go off the corner of your wall. That might not be straight and level. You can use a level and a pencil to create that vertical line to follow, or my favorite method is using a laser level like this one here to create that vertical line on your first wall to follow. So I cut around this whole thing, and then I just cut a little tiny slit there because I didn't want to completely remove the fixture. But once this is up, you're hardly going to be able to see that little join there, and then you can kind of cut around there, and then I'm going to put the fixture back up and it should look good. For peel and stick wallpaper, I like to remove the backing off the first 6 inches or so, and then smooth the top few inches of the wallpaper on the wall. Then I continue peeling off that backing just a few inches at a time and smoothing the paper as I go. I find this gives me so much more control, and it helps me not make mistakes. I usually just use my hand to smooth any bubbles out of the paper because it's nice and soft, it doesn't scratch the paper, but you could also use a plastic smoothing tool, and I'll link some good ones down in that description box below. Now continue to apply the wallpaper in strips, making sure to line up the pattern as best you can. This particular pattern was a little tricky to match, and there was some waste, and I'll probably use that for other DIYs around the cabin, so I am super glad that I purchased a generous amount of wallpaper here. Now work your way across the wall, smoothing down each strip as you go with your hand or with that wallpaper smoothing tool to make sure it's all evenly adhered and there's no bubbles. Peel and stick wallpaper usually does have a bit of give, especially the kind that I'm using here, a more high quality kind. So if you do make a mistake, you can usually carefully remove a piece and then reapply it once or twice. cut around fixtures and outlets, make sure you remove those outlet covers first and then smooth the wallpaper as best you can around that fixture. Use a sharp utility knife or a good pair of scissors to trim off any excess. I kind of fold it a little bit, make a slit, and then cut around. You don't have to make this cut look fantastic because you're going to put that outlet cover back on top. Just be sure to take your time and work carefully because you can tear the paper by accident, especially if it's a lower quality wallpaper. When you've applied all your strips, use your utility knife or a pair of scissors to trim off any excess wallpaper around the edges, around that molding, the crown molding, and the baseboards. So for this step, just make sure to work carefully to avoid cutting all the wallpaper, accidentally making the line uneven. I find a sharp utility knife is essential for this, and definitely take your time here and don't rush this step. So here's how our tiny lake cabin living room looked before, and here it is now. Now it has this gorgeous brand new accent wall that I can change out anytime. I love how this one turned out. It adds so much interest in here that I was hoping for. It does help camouflage that TV because it's darker, and it ties in all the colors I've used in the tiny lake house. And if I ever get tired of it, the bonus is I can easily remove it and swap it out for a different option. Thanks so much for watching today's video. Let me know what you think of this wallpaper down in those comments below, and also let me know if you would ever try installing your own peel and stick wallpaper feature wall. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel for more DIY and decor ideas on a budget. I'll leave some more videos for you to watch next up in that top left-hand corner.